Hello everyone, welcome to the 14th webinar in 12D's Industry Solutions webinar series. My name is Lisa Stewart and I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator for 12D Solutions. These Industry Solutions webinars are designed to provide insights into overcoming challenges in an evolving industry in more effective and efficient ways. We'll continue to run these webinars regularly and record them for posting on our YouTube channel and website. Our first 13 webinars from this Industry Solutions series, as well as the first 9 webinars from our training series, are available online if you missed those. During this live presentation, you'll be able to type your questions along the way, and we'll answer as many as possible throughout the webinar. At the end, I'll also read out some of your questions to the presenter if there's time. Today's webinar, Version 12 CAD with Multipage Plot Sheet, will be presented by Lane Irwin, who heads up 12DNZ in New Zealand. In this webinar, Lane will demonstrate using old and new CAD tools with attributes to assist plan production in 12D model. Showcasing the all-new Multipage Plot Sheet with one or many frames on a single sheet, these frames can be plan, cross, and/or long sections. Multiple sheets can be saved to a single file to produce a single PDF for issuing. Over to you, Lane.
Thank you, Lisa. I'll be starting this presentation inside 12D Synergy. Just having a quick look at Synergy. We do have attributes inside Synergy that I'm going to use in the plotting. Down here I've got a job address 1 and job address 2, and I also have attributes in the actual 12D model project as well. Just going to open up this particular project. I'm using V12 today, Technical Preview 2. I think we're up to Technical Preview 4 already. Just opening up my project. The views are all loading up. I'm going to first of all start looking at some old commands and that as well. Right, the project's now started, so I'm just going to go up to Projects and Utilities and look at the attributes. You can see here that these 12D model, 12D Synergy attributes have come through, so they're now part of the 12D model project. If they get updated, it reflects through. I've also got project details too. That's that panel that always opens up when you start a new job inside 12D. Those are those values, so if you fill those out we could use those later on inside 12D. Where I am going to use those is in my title file. So I've got a TBF file in its raw format, just having a little look. So I've got user information, that's a sheet by sheet information. I've got project details, which is project detail level, and then I've got my 12D Synergy attributes that I'm going to be using when I do my plotting. Now let's just have a look at this particular job here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create some new lots. Just type in a name and that just sets my models information here. First option I'm going to look at is a CAD command that's been inside 12D forever. Mirror. I'm going to mirror this parcel here. I'm going to select my mirror line from here. Now there is a new option down here in the status bar. We'll be looking at the status bar quite a bit. And there's a keep mode down here. So I'm going to go K on the keyboard, and when I select the scene point, it will actually keep that string. I'm also going to just rename the string. I'm just going to give it a name, lot 7, because I'm going to use that information later on. So just having a look at some of the other CAD commands here. I'm going to create a rectangle by 3 points. I'm going to select a point here, select a point down the end here, and then what I want to do is work out my distance out here. I'm going to do a little simple calculation using the area to work out my distance. So I'm going to create my CAD line in this direction here and hit the space bar, so I could actually measure from point to point, from this point down to that point there. And I want to work out my area, so I'm going to go minus, and I want the area to be 766 square meters, so I'll divide it by that length. And there's my parcel. If I do a string inquire on that, there we are, 766 square meters. Now, in V11, some of the problem things were actually, sort of copying many strings. So we've got the copy command, and that's been beefed up. So I'm just going to pick the string. I'm going to pick a placement point, but now we have an option down here in the status bar, where I can actually go multiple times. So L for multiple, and I can now place that multiple times. A lot easier to use. But we also got L for lasso. So if I lasso around in a anti-clockwise idea, it will actually just pick what's inside, and I can pick my base point and accept that and place and copy. So you can see those copy commands have really been beefed up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go into a do some dimensioning. So I just change my model, and I just want to remove this model here. So if we have a look at some of the things about these strings, and that these strings at the moment, if I look at the properties, strings, properties, attributes, these strings actually have no attributes, but what I want to do is use some of the new options for labeling using attributes. What we can do is this new option, utilities, attributes, and apply attribute manipulator file. I'm going to apply attributes to these parcels. I'm going to use this particular file here. Just open this up so you can see it. And I've got two settings already created. I'm going to apply the string properties. There are a whole lot of other options in that. The property of the area, 2D area, and I'm going to create a new string attribute. It could be a vertice or segment attribute if you want, and that attribute name is going to be called lot area. Another one here for the lot name. So I'm going to take the name of the string and apply it to an attribute. And go apply. And when I now look at my attributes, they now have attributes in here. So I want to label those attributes. So file, label map file, apply. It's an old option, but once again I'm just going to apply those attributes and label them via this model, and I'm going to use this label map file. Just open this up, and you can see here I'm doing element attributes, and I'm labeling the lot area and the lot name, applying suffixes and prefixes to those points. So I go to label and turn on that new model or cadastral lot names, and let's label those all up. Now that's just using attributes. See how quick and powerful that was. Yeah, you may want to change those values. You could easily chain all of those things together. I want to now just place some areas using dimension commands. I'll just go to lot dimensions, that's okay. I'll just make this my active model. And I'll just turn off. It's easy to go middle mouse button, select, and turn those off. We've got a whole lot of options up under CAD and dimensioning. One that I'll show you here is area. So we can actually just pick on a parcel and that will label the area. Quite a good option, easy to use. You can change all the settings, change whatever you want. The thing with these commands that we're using up here, say if I go to CAD and I do dimension and I want to do a linear dimension, I have to first of all set my style, choose my style. Might want to change my format. I'd have to set my format to the format that I want to use, and then I can create my dimension. Getting those settings can be a little bit tedious, so what we've got now is a new option called overrides. So say I want to measure in millimeters, I can then select my point, and that has dimension overrides. So that's just labeling those. So just looking at those overrides that I've got here, this is a standard 12D toolbars format file, and I've got a button name. I've got the command that I'm using, in this case drafting dimension aligned, and I've got the new option, which is overrides. So I've got a style override, and then I've got a text format override. So I've done this to 4 different options here in this menu. These are pretty well documented. This one here with the area, you can actually, if it's over a certain area, it will display in a different format. This last one down here is that I'm actually labeling an attribute. So with the square open brackets, it's using that attribute name. So that's labeling. We've also got another label option here. This will actually label segments. If I just refresh that screen, that's labelled all of those segments. I've got a cool toolbar here that I can actually just label a couple more lots if I want to. That's just labeling those. Now, these are all dynamic. If I want to actually move a point, we've got a good old command under here, strings, points edit, move. Everybody's probably very familiar with that one. It's pretty good. It can move everything with the same coordinate. We now have that as a CAD option. So I can actually grab a point, select that, and I might use a CAD snap to just say, hey, look, I want to move all of those points in that direction by 3 meters, and that moves all of those points. These dimensions haven't updated, but because they're associative, I can just recalc them, and they'll recalc all of our dimensions nice and simply. We've talked a bit about attributes and names. Our surveyors go out and they actually create or do a good picking up with names and sometimes attributes. Just doing drafting, like you can actually just create leaders and just label things. So I'm just going to create a leader and label some of these features. It's just a quick way of labeling things up. You can see here it's got an auto align, and that's just using the straight out name of the actual string as it was picked up in the field. But surveyors also do a lot of other things. They pick up attributes in the field. So these particular trees, this bunch of trees here, they actually do have attributes. See, this one's called Totra. So they're all named tree, but what I want to do is I want to label the attributes. So I can actually just pick out and label the attributes of these. So you can see the power of this for labeling all sorts of things, maybe buildings, or virtually anything with attributes. And you can see the advantage of having a custom toolbar so that you got everybody's sticking to a really good standard. There's an Australian tree there, gum. So that's labeling using leaders. Now, we're going to get on to plotting, but one of the important things for plotting is that you may want to put standard notes on. And I'm sure most people have probably used this data input option with the 12DA library. I want to bring in some notes. This is a custom library that you can create. And I'm going to read in these notes here, or legend, and I'm going to have the models it's created in and also the position it was created in. So import that and import that set of notes. And these were created actually in paperspace related to a A3 sheet. If you look down the bottom here, you can see that the coordinates are like a A3 sheet position in real world coordinates. I now want to do a little bit of plotting. I want to show you the power of the new plotting options in V12. We've all used or might have used the plot sheet option that came in V11. This has been beefed up quite considerably in V12 with a multi-page plot sheet. Just going to go create. The beauty about this option now is that it actually has a preview window. So, and it's scalable to different size. I'm only going to size it reasonably small because we're pretty low on real estate here. Now the options in this, first of all, I can save the file. So I can recall it and replot or edit. I can give the sheet a name. I can choose my sheet size, preview, and I can also choose my plotter type. I'm just going to use a PDF that comes here, my PDF color string weight, and give it a plot file name of plot. Now, obviously we're going to have multiple sheets, but we're just looking at one sheet at this stage. First of all, I'm going to put a title block. I'm going to associate a title block to it. And I'm going to use this title block here. I use a title block, and I'm going to select a title block that I've got saved away. Now, these are values that are actually based on a sheet by sheet, so you can actually have different values in here. Now, there's this option here, which is called Models to Plot in Plotting Units. Now, I'm going to use my notes that I created. Now, these are just going to plot in the units that they were actually created in. So they'll just appear. They don't have to be in a particular view or anything else like that. It's just got to know about them. I'll just set that and go finish. And now you can see our preview started. The next step is that I want to place a frame. We can place 3 different types of frames: a plan, a cross-section, a long section. I'm going to start off by using a plan. I'm just going to automatically snap up to this point up here, and I'm going to go down to a point around about here. Accept that. Now I've just got to associate this to a view, and my view that I'm going to be doing is this tennis court view. Just select a point, and you can see the orange line around the side. You could change it to a different color so it's a bit easier to see. Now that's got a preview down the bottom here, so you can see your preview, and it's actually applied a pen mapping file at this stage. It's plotting to a scale of 1 to 1,000. You can type in your own scale, or you can zoom in and zoom out of the view. So that's change that view around. I might want to actually rotate this view, so I can actually go rotate. I might want to be perpendicular to the center alignment, and that's rotated perpendicular. I just use P for perpendicular. We've got a pan option. Oh, sorry, we've got a translate option as well, so you can go and translate that around. But you know, sometimes you may want to actually do it in your view that you're working with, so you can actually just go pan, and you can select that view, and you can pan around in here. These views, you can actually change the size, you know, scale, whatever you want. So we might want to add some text to this. So we could add title text or just ordinary text. In this case, I'm just going to add scale text. So I just place a point in here, and there's my text, my scale text. But let's just give it a format and put some pre-text or post-text in. There we go, and set that value, and you've got your scale in here. The beauty of these plot sheets is that you can have multiple frames. I'm going to put a second frame in. I'm going to do a plan, select a point down the bottom here, and I'm just going to come out to a point about here somewhere. And the view that I'm actually going to plot from is this view here. I might just want to put a detail in of my trees. May want to scale that or pan that around or translate it. Just translate it, just get it into the right position. There we go. You see how that's all moved around. Once we get to the stage, you may want to create a plot, have a look at it. So I'm just going to create a plot. That's taking all that information that we've drawn up, the scales, the different scales. So these frames can have different scales if you wish, then they can look at different views. So you can see here, here's my detail of my trees, my tennis court, and also my standard notes. But more importantly, we've got all these standard notes or attributes coming through from Synergy and also from your plot details. I have actually got a sheet that I've got pre-created. I'll just read this one in. So it's very simple to actually read in a existing multi-page plot sheet file. As you can see, this one here has many pages. It's got 11 pages. This cover sheet here, these frames are actually created from the frames that when we select the views, we can plot them to a particular model or get them drawn to a particular model. But here's a pretty common sort of problem is that with plotting, if somebody comes into your job or yourself, you turn models on and off, you're going to lose all your settings and what you're actually plotting. Up here in V12 we have what we call favorites, so we can actually select a favorite, and this particular I can create a favorite here. So all of the settings on this particular view I can save away. I can save them to a file. I can recall them to a particular view. But more importantly, once I've saved a favorite, I can now associate a favorite to a frame. So this particular frame here, I have associated my favorite, and it doesn't matter what happens to the view, it will remember all the models and the settings and plot everything out. It's a pretty big advancement in the way that we'll actually be plotting. This last sheet that I've got here, this is sheet number 11. We have an option in here to actually make it as a default. So I'm going to change the default to yes. So if I create a copy or add another view, it will actually copy all of the values, the TBF, the frames, everything else. So here's my first view. Open up my frame, look at my frame. I'm going to change my title name, and I'm going to associate it to a view. So I'm going to associate it to this view here. You can see my first frame that I've got there, and I'm going to have another frame just here. I want to rotate that view, rotate that around, and I'll just translate it as well. Just get it into the right location where I want it to be on my sheet. So you can see there it's all placed, but my text is in the wrong place. So I just go and, pan. I don't want to pan, I want to edit. And I want to edit that bit of text and just move it down here. So that's your plan view. Now, my section view, I can associate a long section PPF in this case. I can give it a start chainage and an end chainage. And it looks at the parameters, everything, and then you've got your long sectional plot coming up. In this case, I definitely want to pan this. I want to pan this into a more central position. I could have used the Shift X and Y. Now, I can plot sheet by sheet, but in this case, I've got an option here that I can actually plot all of my sheets to a single file. So all of these 12 sheets will now go to a single file. While that's plotting, I can add plots, I can delete sheets. I can move them up in order, up and down in order, because once you get many sheets, you may want to insert a particular sheet in a particular position. We can make sheets active or inactive. While it's doing its bizzo, a bit too quick for me, here's our plot. So you can see that this is actually plotted 11 sheets. This is sheet number 1. And I can move down through my sheets. Oh, stuck on the All Blacks there while Adobe's catching up. Adobe's not going the best at the moment, but that's not a fault of 12D. And here's all my sheets, and look at my sections at the end. So that particular file, that PDF, is around about 5.5 meg. Now I could have plotted that direct to Synergy if I wanted to. One thing I did forget to show is that we can only do rectangles in our plots, but we have an option here to white out. So if you want to place a rectangle or a frame on top of a frame, you can actually have different shapes. For example, just here, place another plan and place my plan there, and I could choose an option here to have whiteout, and anything underneath that will not plot. It will be a clear plot. So as you can see, that there's quite a lot of advancements inside the new plot sheet, multi-page plot sheet, which is going to be available in 12. Hopefully I've given you a pretty good overview. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to let us know. But yeah, a very, very good option coming in 12D. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and yeah, thank you, Lisa.
Thanks for that, Lane. I believe most of the questions that were asked along the way were actually answered by information presented later in the webinar. So I think unless anyone else has anything they are going to send through now, I think we're mostly covered. If there's anyone that needs any more information, I'm sure you can get back to them individually afterwards though. Actually, someone's just come through. Laura's come through, Lane. Where do we find the attributes related to 12D Synergy?
Right, Laura, when they come through under projects, we have an option utilities, and we've got attributes. This is the tree of all the attributes that actually come through, and you can see here we've got the synergy attributes, and all of these are the attributes that have actually come through into our project. And I was referencing these same attributes right here. So the synergy job address 1 is actually our job address number 1 here. So that's where we're getting those from. So each time you actually open up the project, the synergy attributes are coming through.
Thank you for that. The recording of this webinar will be available in coming days through our website and our YouTube channel. We'll keep updating the website with many more webinar topics in coming weeks, and also keep you posted through email and social media, so stay tuned. So that concludes the presentation for today. Thank you to everyone for attending, and we hope to see you at future webinars.